Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Tiffany, retired librarian turned homeschool mom, and we are coming close to the end of the Princess Diaries. So, this is Princess Mia. This is the second to last book in the teen series. Royal Wedding is an adult book. So, that is kind of almost the beginning if she's trying to do more series books on Mia as an adult and connects with the little sisters, where she has the middle school princess. That's all revealed in that video. We're going to pay attention to this video. Now, if you're familiar with watch the series, hopefully, otherwise none of this is going to make sense. I did not like the previous book. This one at least takes place a little bit longer rather than 4 days. This takes place over 2 weeks. So, these books haven't, and it's also very similar to Princess on the Brink. It's kind of obvious just by what she does after this book, the time jump she does, that Meg Cabot wants to be done with this series at this time. And the fact that the Royal Wedding isn't published or written and takes place for 6 years after the end of Forever Princess. So in this book, literally takes place directly after the last book ends. So Michael's gone to Japan, and she ends up going to Beauty and the Beast with, what is his name? It's been a little while since I actually read the book. JP, there we go. I had the e-copy, but my library took a while to get the physical copies because they had to reorder them. So she's gone to Beauty and the Beast with JP. If you remember, this is Lily's ex-boyfriend who dropped Lily because of Mia. No, that is not revealed in this book. This is literally revealed in the next book. Mia and Lily are no longer friends, and yes, that is not fixed until next book. Mia is very, very depressed because she's not really in contact with Michael. She regrets it. She does start dating JP. Her parents drag her because she becomes depressed, isn't getting out of bed, hanging out in her pajamas, doesn't go to school. Stepfather, mother, father drag her to a child psychologist who basically starts trying to deal with the fact that she has depression. No, he does not put her on medication because, again, he's a psychologist, not a psychiatrist. So he starts trying to help her get back into things. This is where you get an interesting twist in this book. All of a sudden, she becomes friends with Lana. Yeah, the bully who's she's been harassing, that had issues with for many, many books. Yeah, she goes shopping with Lana in this book. It's kind of interesting. She actually becomes friends with him. Does Lana change all that much? Kind of. Again, they grow up a little bit. They're juniors in high school now. Lana's still vain and slightly stuck up, but Mia's a princess and has, after the big speech that Mia gives in not the previous book, the book before that, when we first get introduced to JP, and particularly the speech that she gives with Lana's mother's sorority group, Lana is now impressed by Mia for public speaking and the princess thing, and the fact that she literally took a chance and completely destroyed the monarchy by making them a constitutional monarchy like Great Britain is. So they actually become friends to this. She goes out shopping, which irritates the living daylights out of Mia's mother because she's spending all sorts of her father's money. Her father does not care at all. Her grandmother doesn't care either. She's dressing nice. That's what they care about. Is they went shopping. And I think she maxed out Dad's credit card. He doesn't care. His daughter's getting out of bed. So the other thing is she reconnects with Michael and they kind of become friends over email. He emails her back. It's like, maybe we should just be friends for a little while. So, and they kind of rekindle their friendship. So, and she starts dating JP, which is very interesting. Again, her and Lily's relationship is non-existent. It's done. Lily is senior class president. Again, this makes no sense considering Mia was a class president as a sophomore. which still makes no sense. Nor does this, the fact that Lily is suddenly president and they're juniors, which again makes a little bit more sense than sophomores, but at least in my high school experience, the junior-senior class presidents are normally juniors and seniors. So, and you might occasionally have for the entire school. So sophomores would not be involved in prom. But again, that's a previous book. But this takes place over about 2 weeks where Mia is seeing a psychologist, kind of getting back on her feet, accepting that she's now dating JP and becoming friends with Lana and kind of growing up a little bit in this book. It's very much a precursor to the next book, which is, as I said, the time jump. It is decent in this, where previously it was a semester or over the summer. The next book literally starts the April of the following school year. So this book ends in September of her junior year. The next book, which I will talk about in the next video, starts in April of her senior year. Like near the end of April. She's about to graduate from high school. So these last couple of books are very, they're rushed to an extent in the time period. So it is a very interesting book. I prefer it obviously to Princess on the Brink, because again, it takes place over like 4 days. And like Mia's life is turned completely upside down in a short period of time. And some of the whole Michael stuff, suddenly, remember he would be Mia's going into her junior year. He's like maybe going into his sophomore year at Columbia to suddenly be going off to Japan and developing robotics. It's a little weird, but romance novels. Moving on. So this looks into her relationship with Lana, her relationship with JP. She's still friends with some of her other friends. Obviously not Lily. She's still friends with everybody else. And there's a cat at my door. This is a cat in my lap. Cats. So, and that's pretty much the crux of this book, is she's going to a psychologist. She's trying to work through her depression of essentially losing Michael as a boyfriend, becoming friends with Lana. And you kind of see some character development a little bit in Lana and Lana's little sister. And then I think she has another friend who I do not remember whose name is. Very, very minor character. I think she's mentioned like once in the royal wedding too. And just kind of finishing up that storyline of preparing Mia to be at the end of her senior year and essentially finishing off the teen part of this series. So it's still very good. It's a very interesting book, but again, it's very focused on Mia recovering from depression in some ways. Obviously, she's still seeing the therapist in the following book, so it covers this subject really, really well in a very good sense. Meg Cabot acknowledges for a junior in high school to suddenly lose her boyfriend and her best friend and a lot of things happening, not to mention previously she turned her father's country upside down. She's had some turbulent issues, so for her to become depressed, particularly considering how close her and Michael were, and a lot of also finding out that he was not a virgin, and probably not that book, but stuff like that would send a teenager, again, she's only about 16, she's not quite 7, she's 16, into a depression is understandable to an extent for a hormonal teenager. And so she's had a lot of stuff happen in her teenage little life. How she's working through it, and the therapist it's like, a pill is not going to fix this. You have to start working through your issues and start thinking about how to solve your problems and how you can't focus your entire life on a guy and things changing. So it covers it very, very well. It continues in the following book. So, which again is a little bit more interesting. These two, Princess Mia and Princess on the Brink, are not my favorite in the series. So, it's really going to be it for this. Again, it's been a while since I actually read it. I read it online, so, or in ebook form. So this is a quick kind of summary of this one. My favorite book in the series is actually The Royal Wedding, but that may be because I'm an adult. So, and Mia's a heck of a lot older in those books. She's, I think, like 26. So, still a very, very good book. It definitely moves along. And again, it finishes off that storyline and settles things down a little bit after the turbulent 4-day Princess on the Brink book. So, still a very good part of the series. But again, it takes place over 2 weeks. So, it starts off literally, where does it go here? I can find the dates here. There she starts. On September 10th at 9 o'clock at night at the Beauty of the Beast. And then it ends on, let's see, September 25th at 1 o'clock in the morning. Okay. So, yes, it is kind of very interesting. And again, it starts her relationship with JP. That goes interesting places. It does. It goes interesting places. JP becomes a very interesting character, plays far bigger roles in the next book. And yes, he is mentioned in The Royal Wedding. I do, so we'll get to that. But great book. That's really the end of this book review. I'll put that down. My office is a mess if you can't tell. But toddlers, this is the only room that's toddler and cat free. So it has a tendency to accumulate stuff. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe. If you haven't already, watch the rest of the Princess Diary videos. I am going to cover the films, though there's very little in common. The films are still very good, but still very little in common with the book series. So, and of course, be sure to like and subscribe. I will finish the book series. I will be covering Forever Princess, which I will actually be filming tonight, just so you know kind of where things are being filmed here. This is December of 2021 when I'm filming this. So if anything seems off, that would be why when this is being filmed. So be sure to check out the rest of the channel. I do a lot of other homeschooling stuff, or rather book review stuff. We are a secular homeschooling family, so a lot of my stuff can be educational. This is fun. This is fun and fluff. As I've mentioned in other videos, this was very much a palate cleanser for me because I was reading the Last Apprentice series by Joseph Delaney, which is horror and not my genre. It's not my genre at all. I picked up those books previously when I was a library page, which was over a decade ago. So, but I do cover various other series. I'm after these books are done, I'm doing the Tamora Pierce's Lioness Rampant, her Lioness books. I have previously covered her both sets of the Circle quartets. So if you want, I will be covering Tamora Pierce. I actually own quite a few of them. They're not in here, or they might be down there somewhere. I own most of her books. And then I'm going to be covering I'm actually going to be covering a bunch of series here in 2023. The next book series after that, I'm actually trying to get through, which I will show you here. This is one of the books. This is The Guardians of Gung Ho. So that's going to be coming up after the Tamora Pierce books, along with half a dozen other things. I do a lot of book reviews, a lot of film reviews. So be sure to check out the channel. I will be adding travel stuff and homeschooling stuff as my daughter gets older. As of the shooting of this video, she's just about 2.5. By the time you guys see it, she'll be about 3.5. So the education stuff is coming as time goes on. So like and subscribe, comment if you have one. Thank you.